Smash him up, crack that fool. Quarterback whack, yo, sack that fool. Hit him, 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 hit him. Smash him up, watch that move. Went too swift, can't catch these dudes. Hit him, 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 hit him. Listen, 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 hit him, listen. It's Eagles talk high, let's talk Eagles. Philly bleed green, it's from your people. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's peep the squad. Big Pat shelling, Dante the dark job. Drop the stats on them, drop the facts on them. Spurt, hey baby, let's get it on.
Hey fam, it's your man Dante the Dark Knight, and welcome. It's not upon further review. This is the end of the season review. Our Philadelphia Eagles took it on the chin on Sunday. I'm okay now. Not as upset as I was after Sunday. Got a chance to sit down and let this sink in, and now I'm pretty proud of this team for what they did this year. I mean, a team that wasn't expected to do much this year, and we wound up in the playoffs. So overall, it was a positive year. It was a good year. It just left a nasty taste in our mouths watching our Philadelphia Eagles go out this Sunday in the fashion that they went out. Now, not a lot of us expected to win. I know I talked about the mountain and I talked about the tools we had and everything, but that's my job. That's my job as a fan, to get the fan base ready for the game. And I think we were ready. I think we were ready to run through a brick wall for that team, right? We were amped up. We were hyped up for the playoff atmosphere and everything. So I think that we did our job. Who didn't do their job was the coaches and the players out there. They didn't quite live up to their end of the bargain. They didn't do their job. and that's what happened. So the great Tom Brady did what he does best. He picked us apart, especially with that soft-ass defense we were playing. And not to pile up on Jonathan Gannon. I mean, for real, if you really looked at it, to be only down 17-0 in the first half was a miracle with the way our offense was playing. They were non-existent almost, what it is what it is. Pat, what's up, man? How you feeling now after 3-4 days to digest this?
I had some stale Cheez-Its. I had some real stale Cheez-Its. So I got a taste in my mouth that I can't get out because this water's it's not working.
It's not working.
It's not working, man. I listened to some of the interviews, and
so Pat is still upset about what happened. You guys let me know if you're still upset about it. I'm over it. I mean, don't get me wrong. After the game, I was mad as hell. You know what I'm saying? Because although, we weren't expected to win, I thought that we were going to put up a fight. And that's what disappointed me the most, that I didn't see a fight in this team at all. And we chose the biggest game of the year to not even swing a haymaker. I don't even think we threw jabs. Did we throw punches? I don't even know if it looked like we were trying to slap them out there. It looked like we were out there fighting like little girls trying to slap them. It wasn't a fight at all. But look, let's get this first quarter started.
You're now listening to the first quarter.
All right, so you're listening to the Eagles Talk, the #1 Eagles coverage show on Facebook that's by Eagles fans, for Eagles fans, where we like to talk about our favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles. Yes, it is still our favorite football team. And we like to do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. I'm going to only do a shot. I'm going to do first half shots. I'm going to do first half shots. And
I'm there with you.
On the strength of celebrating the overall season, which overall it was a success. Overall, we won 9 games. Overall, we finished above 500. Overall, we exceeded all expectations for this rookie coach, this second-year quarterback, and everyone involved. Overall, I think we exceeded expectations. So it's a successful season. So I'm going to celebrate that. I'm not going to, I can't celebrate what happened Sunday. So I'm going to celebrate that. So I'm going to continue with my bottle of Clase Azul. you ration this out. So I'm only doing 2 shots. So here we go. You guys let me know what you're doing out here. And this is to our Philadelphia Eagles and a successful season. This is the end of the season review. So we're looking at not only the game on Sunday, we're looking at the whole season. And that was a success to me. All right, so here we go. Let me know what you're doing out there. I'm doing the Clase Azul. Pat, what are you doing? Jameson. All right, so here we go. Down the hatch. 3, 2, 1. Let me go right to some comments here. First person in the room. And thank you guys for supporting us. We had the highest numbers of the season on Sunday. So we thank everybody that is supporting us. And your action item, before we get into this action item, if you're not following us on Facebook, make sure you go to the page and follow and like the page. And on YouTube, go to our YouTube channel, Eagles Talk on YouTube, and subscribe to the channel. Help us get our subscribers up. Thank you so much. All right, first person in the room tonight was Richard Boo Layton, and he's on Facebook tonight. Usually he's our YouTube supporter, but he's on Facebook tonight. He says, "What's up, Eagles family? What's up, Richard? Thanks for joining us." Gwen is in the house. She says, "Hey." I could just imagine. I never talked to Gwendolyn in person, but I could just imagine the way she puts up there. It sounds like, hey, Gwen, how are you? And our resident from down under, Tony Burry, yo, Bird Gang, yo, what's up, Tony? I know that had to be disappointing for you to get up early in the morning on Sunday or Monday morning and watch that debacle of a game, but we thank you for joining us tonight. Drexel Davis is in the house. He says, bleed green no matter what. That's right. They're still our favorite team. JR says, what's up, everyone? Was a good season. It was a good season. Donovan's in the house. Donovan Bramlett says, I hope Gannon gets the head coaching job in Denver so we can find an actual DC. I think that's all of our prayers, and I think we need to link up, spiritually or whatever, and then put our, and then collectively gather our energy and pray that he gets that head coaching job. That's what I hope. JT is in the house. He says, we are the Eagles. That's right. We are the Eagles. Fred's in the house. He said, what's up, fam? All right, what's up? Gwen says, shared the broadcast. Hey, Dante. What's up? What's up, Gwen? Thank you so much. This is a big point and help me digest what happened to us a little bit better. JR says, I'm just happy Dallas lost. Yes, I think we all are happy Dallas lost, and that kind of brightened our spirits on Sunday, so to speak. I know it did mine to know that the stinking cow turds went out in round number 1 also. I had no better satisfaction than seeing that. B Dizzle, where you been at, man? Eagles Nation all damn day. I'm proud of our Eagles. No one had us in the playoffs. Prove them wrong. We coming hard next year. He said pause. He paused his own self. We come hard, pause, next year. Fly, Eagles, fly. All right, guys. So, we saw what happened on Sunday. Pat is still upset, man. Say no to Juju. I'm with that, too. We're going to talk. Maybe we'll spend a little bit of time we'll spend the first quarter talking about the game Sunday. Then after that, we're just going to talk about the season and review and what we need to do next year and stuff like that. So as we saw, last time we saw our team, they were pitiful on Sunday. Offense, let's forget about the 15 points. It was 31-0. 31-0 in this game. Forget the 15 points. The 15 points were garbage time points. That was nothing. Meant nothing. And that's all we could do. It's 31-0. Tom Brady played. Did he play all game? He played all game. Yeah, all game, man. To me, that's a little disrespectful. Like, yo, why is he still playing and they're up 31-0? Because he can. Because they can. And they needed that work. Which brings me to, why were we resting our starters the week before like we were going to come out and do something? Like we didn't need the work. Like we were an established team that it was more important for us to be healthy than to get that work in. And as you can see, hindsight is 2020. We probably needed that work.
Nah.
What do you think, Pat?
Nah.
We didn't need that work. It wouldn't matter.
Listen, man. The way they played on Sunday, you still have so many questions about this team. Like all the questions that we was asking at the beginning of the season, we still asking those same questions at the end of the season. What is this team? Who are this team? Who are these players? Is this roster viable for the NFL schedule? At the end of the season, if it felt like 2019 all over again, right? We played our division rivals, which are trash teams, right? The Giants and the freaking Deadskins. Yeah, I call them Deadskins. I don't care what their name is. Um, yeah, I
But no,
understand.
go ahead. Just finish your thought. I'm
They,
just
they
laughing at Sharif. I'm
we
sorry.
we
Go ahead.
we 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 gave a piss poor effort at the end of the season to get through those games. And yeah, I agreed with the opportunity for us to rest players at the end of the season. You have to do that. You have to do that to get ready for you're in a playoff. It doesn't even matter if you win or lose. You're in the playoffs. You don't take the risk of getting people injured. But at the same time, the identity that we kind of established on mid-season of a run first team, we abandoned that. Dante, we threw the ball over 40 times. Over 40 times. There's a comment out there about the Cowgirls, right? They talk about the Cowgirls. Did the 49ers abandon what their identity is?
No, they
Freaking
did not.
Jimmy G threw for 175 yards, an interception, and they won. It was actually a handily game. The game was actually complete until he threw that interception, right? They dominated the game on the run game. No matter what the Cowgirls wanted to do in the box, they said you could put 8-9 men in the box. We're still going to run the ball. What the hell does this coach think this team is? There's no identity on this team. And if you're going to pass the ball, why pass the ball to a receiver that should not be here? Why give Jaden Rager an opportunity who can't catch a damn punt? What the hell is wrong with you? Your best receiver didn't even get targeted until the late minutes of the second quarter.
Well, I don't know if I don't know what it is. First of all, what happened with Sirianni? I think my perception is that I think the rookie coach panicked. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
To me, it was two things or two perceptions I could have. Either he tried to get cute, and we always talk about that. Please, Sirianni, going into each game, since we realize we have a killer running attack, we've always said, don't get cute this week. Just run the ball. Do what we do best, right? So I don't think that he got cute. I think that when Tampa Bay came out and punched us in the mouth, he panicked. Like Mike Tyson says, everybody has a game plan until you get punched in the mouth. I think he had a game plan until we got punched in the mouth, and then I think he panicked. And that's the only way I can explain why he did not stick with our strength, our identity of smash mouth football. I think once they punched us in the mouth and they got up and we had a couple 3 and outs, I think he just panicked. And there was no time to panic at that point. It was still the first half, still plenty enough time to impose our will in the run game. But again, these are the growing pains of a rookie head coach. I think this was very instrumental in the development of this team because this was the first time him being a coach, first of all. And we saw that progression through the season. We saw him trying to fit a square peg into a round hole in the first 7 weeks of the season by trying to pass the ball all over the place. And then he settled down, realized what the strength of his team was, and he went to it. I give him credit for that. He went to the run game, and we had success over the last 9-10 weeks of the season. Albeit, and this cannot be minimized, albeit it was against weaker talent, but I do give him credit for at least going to the run game, and it worked for us. This game here was growing pains of a rookie head coach. I think if he had to do it over again, I'm sure he would call a different game. But he was a big part of why we did not win this weekend. I have to say that.
How the hell do you justify Jaden Rager? How do you justify that? How do you justify JJ Arthega-Whiteside all season? How? I'm sitting there. I'm trying to feel. I'm trying to be positive about this team because they made it to the playoffs doing what you called a retooling year. Yes, and I called it a retooling year also. I started saying, Dark Knight, with the stuff that we've thrown out there, this is a retooling year. But how do you justify these guys? It's your job. It's your job to catch the football. It's a dream job. There are about 200,000 college players that wish they had your job. Your job. And you can't even do your damn job. You can't do your damn job. Right? As somebody that played basketball, Dante, if you were coaching the Philadelphia 76ers right now, yesterday Embiid put up 50 points, 12 rebounds in 27 minutes. If he's so dominant during the game and you say, Embiid, no, don't pass it to Embiid, give him to Tobias, let's get him started. You should be fired after that game.
Oh man!
Am I wrong?
Pat, you're absolutely right. I'm just chuckling because Pat is hot. Like the commenter said earlier. Did you really expect us to win? I'm not throwing in the towel. I'm not throwing in the towel.
Fans. We're not going to talk down on our team and say, "Nah, I don't expect us." No, we're gonna be on game day. We're gonna get hyped. We're gonna take our shots. We're gonna talk our S. We're gonna talk our stuff and root for our team to win. That's what we do as fans, regardless of the odds. Did you not think we was gonna win against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl? Come on,
no, we did. I mean, a lot of people didn't. All right, that's the end of the first quarter. Wow, the quarter went quick.
And that's the end of the quarter.
Oh, man. Let me get my draft shirt so you can see my draft shirt. Because it's draft time.
I got my hoodie on.
I can't find my hoodie. I don't know where it is.
All right, look, you're watching Eagles Talk, the #1 Eagles coverage show on Facebook by Eagles fans for Eagles fans. As you can hear by our commentary, we are true Eagle Homer fans. Pat is still upset about Sunday's output or lack thereof. I'm kind of taking it in stride now. I'm kind of settled down and accepting our fate and what happened. And just looking at the season overall, I think it was a successful season. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in the second quarter. So, Pat, let's get the second quarter started.
You're now listening to the second quarter.
I do want to answer that question, though, when we get to it.
All right. So you're watching Eagles Talk, the #1 Eagles coverage show on Facebook by Eagles fans for Eagles fans, where we talk about our favorite football team. And yes, if there's any questions, it is still our favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles. And we do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. So this is the second quarter. I said I would do 2 shots in celebration of our season, and I'm going to talk about that in the second quarter here because I think overall, and you guys let me know out there if I'm wrong or not, I think it was a successful season, but we can talk about that and debate that in the second quarter here. I'm doing a Clase Azul tequila, very smooth, sweet, high-end tequila, and you can taste why. As soon as you taste it, you like it blows away everything else under the sun. I mean, anything lesser than this, you will taste the difference. And I'm not been a great connoisseur of tequila, but when you taste better, there's no denying. You just have to.
So where you put Terramana, man? Because it's smooth.
Yeah. Now, there's always classes of alcohol. So for the cheaper tier. Not cheapest, but for the cheaper tier of tequila, Terramana is pretty good. It is pretty good.
I'll put that over. What's everybody drinking now? What's the
Casamigos?
I'll put that definitely over Casamigos.
Yeah, I think it would compete with Casamigos. I would say that. All right, so here we go. Pat's doing the Jameson. Let me know what you're doing out there. To our Philadelphia Eagles and a successful season overall. Down the hatch, 3, 2, 1. All right. Let me go to some comments here. Fred says passive play calling. We need more aggression with this toughness this team has. Tim Mack says Hurts is too predictable, has no arm, can't anticipate where a receiver will be. He was a D coordinator's freaking dream. I can't disagree with that. But I think that he's still on schedule. He's just a second year quarterback who still has things to work on. That's what I'm going to say. And I think that he can get to a level where he can be better next year, and that he has that work ethic, that he's going to put the work in to do that. We'll see if he has the right coaching and whether he can actually take that next step. You know what I mean? It's all about the coaching and whether he can take the next step. We see what his deficiencies are, right? We've seen them with other young quarterbacks, and we've seen them come back in year 2 or 3, the ones that pan out to be good. We see them make that progress, or progress to that level there. So the one that comes to mind to me is Josh Allen from Buffalo. Year 1 to 2, 2 to 3, he's been phenomenal. So we're hoping that we have one that can make the same type of progression in his third year and correct some of those things that some of those deficiencies. So that's what I'm hoping.
The crazy thing is, as you just said, Ray Dillinger said this. If Jalen Hurts was a first-round quarterback, we would take this season as a step in the right direction. We wouldn't ridicule him as much as we are ripping him right now.
Right, and
we
I
would say,
agree
you know
with
what? We would say he is the foundation. He's taking the right steps to be our franchise quarterback going forward. But since he's a second-round quarterback and was drafted on this team after we thought we had the franchise quarterback, he's getting murdered by the fans. He's getting murdered by the media. And you know what? It's not right. We're not giving him his just due and recognize that this guy actually is still developing into a decent quarterback.
And
can he be the best quarterback for us? That's still yet to be seen. He has to put in the work in the offseason. He still has to put in the work in the offseason. He has a lot left on the table to be desired.
All right, and I totally agree with that. As a matter of fact, you can go back and check the tapes, but I've said the same exact thing, almost word for word. This is draft politics, is why he's being criticized so harshly. If he was a first round quarterback, drafted quarterback, we would have more patience with him. But just because of his draft position, I think he gets all of that criticism. And some of it unwarranted, some of it is warranted. I can't say that it's not, but it's warranted because he's not finished. He's an unfinished product, and that's what I think that a lot of his most harsh critics are forgetting. He's still developing. He's only 23, and I think he took a step 23. From last year to this year. I think he took a step. And next year, we're just hoping for another step, another big step. And I got the patience for him. I think that he's done enough this year, at least not to go out and spend 3 first-round draft picks on a quarterback. You know what I mean?
Dark Knight, he's younger than the top quarterback coming out this year.
Yeah, I believe that.
It's going to be a 24-year-old rookie. He's going to be 23. So
You're
he's
right,
younger.
JT.
Yeah, what's up, JT? Yo, I can't wait to see you, JT. Just let you guys know.
He says nice shot glasses. Let me.
JT is coming to Philly.
JT gave us these. JT, this is a gift from JT.
Yes,
Eagles Talk shot glasses. You're right.
He will be here. He will be here in Philly for my event the weekend of February 25th to the 27th. And we
is that a Water Buffalo meeting? I
yes.
can't come to that. Oh,
yes,
damn.
you can. I'm sending you the invite right now, sir.
All right, I gotta come up and see
everybody.
JT is going to be in the house.
Invited.
Then I gotta come to the house. All right. Let me go to some more comments. JR says Ray Diddy is great. He's a smart man. He's a legend, Hall of Famer. Does develop next year. If not, move on. You're right, Tim. I can't disagree. I mean, I need to see market improvement next year. I needed to see a big step from year 2 to year 3, especially if they equipped him with some weapons next year, which I think that they will. I hope that, and I foresee that Howie will go out and get him some veteran wide receiver help. And just like he did with Carson Wentz, after Carson's first year, he realized that Carson needed better weapons. So he went and got two veteran wide receivers that next year. He went and got Alshon Jeffrey, the top wide receiver free agent that year, and Torrey Smith, two veteran wide receivers, and you saw what it did for Carson's game. So hopefully he'll go out and get him some veteran wide receiver help. I think Devontae Smith is great already. I mean, not that he doesn't have any room to improve, but I think he is a good wide receiver. And to add another veteran wide receiver that can push him, it's just going to open up a whole lot. Rager again, though, I think he needs to be regulated too. Yeah, he got
Rager got to go. Listen,
I know he's not, but he
I actually, I thought he would be a great punt returner, kick returner. He doesn't like contact. All right, he doesn't like contact. He doesn't like catching the ball. He doesn't do anything well. All right, it's time for us to stop giving mediocre players an opportunity. All right, if they mediocre players don't take advantage of the opportunity, it's time to move on. Listen, yes, you did something that a lot of college players always wished and wanted to do. Take advantage of it. If you don't take advantage of it, as a Philadelphia Eagles fan, it's time for your ass to get going. We've been doing this since Andy Reid era, right? We had Charles Johnson, Terrence Small. I'm not going to say anything bad on Todd Pinkston because, believe it or not, Todd Pinkston was consistent, right? But we end up picking Freddie Mitchell over freaking Reggie Wayne.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Then we did it again with J.J. Arthur-Whiteside, Jalen Reagor. We made some good and smart decisions when we finally got some good guys in there with Macklin and Deshaun Jackson. Thank goodness they came here because I don't know how we would survive if we didn't have those guys here on our team. I don't know how. We've been cellar dwellers like the freaking Giants and the freaking Degskins. Yeah. But you know what? I do say this, the Dark Knight. You know what? For all the things that I'm upset about this team there is some hope in this team. There are some bright spots that happened this year. There are some fight that I saw in these young kids that excited us as a fan base. We're not all bad, and how much we rid Jalen Hurts, he's not all bad. This is a rookie year. This is a retooling year, rebuilding year. There's a lot to grow from this year, and we can cash in with those chips on this draft coming up.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with BJ too. He says we need a big vet, big body, bad receiver. I'm assuming that he's talking about. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the third quarter. So that's the end of the quarter.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, it's halftime.
Quick, is it me or what?
I know, right? I mean, but the time is going quick. It's like 20 minutes to 8 already. All right, that's halftime for Eagles Talk. You're watching Eagles Talk, the #1 Eagles coverage show on Facebook that's by Eagles fans for Eagles fans. Here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about the Eagles, and we like to talk about them and be relaxed. We like to chill. We like to talk like we're out in the barbershop, like we're standing around the water cooler. I don't know. No, nobody's going to work anymore. Everybody's working from home, so I guess there's no water cooler talk anymore. But we like to talk very relaxed, and we do so with our favorite adult beverage and in the form of shots. But I'm done shots. I'm not doing any more.
I got
celebrate it.
One more in me. All
right, Pat got one more. Pat does it for the culture. See, Pat's a little younger than me, so he can do that. All right, so Pat's doing the Jameson. I'm going to just continue sipping on. I'm going to, as JT called me out the other day, yeah, I got my fuzzy slippers on, and I'm going to sip on my wine here. Yeah, he called me out the other day. All right, so I'm going to continue to sip on my wine. Pat's doing the Jameson. You guys continue and do it for the culture. Here we go to our Philadelphia Eagles down the hatch. Are you doing pickleback? I thought I saw.
Yes,
pickle juice.
I got pickleback.
Okay, all right. So he's about to do a pickleback. You doing the pickleback? Where's Sue when you need her? All right, here we go. Pat's doing the pickleback. I'm going to sip on my wine here. Here we go. Down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
now listening to the third quarter.
All right, let me just read some of these comments here. Drexel said, Eagles doubled their win total from last year. I was happy with that. I am also happy with that. Yender makes a good point here. He says, I disagree. I don't think it's because of his draft position, talking about Jalen Hurts. I think he gets critiqued harder because we have draft capital to replace him. Now, if we just had the 19th pick in the draft, they probably wouldn't bring it up. But because that's a good point there. Would the critique still be as harsh if we only had the 19th pick? If we didn't have a way to move up or trade for a better quarterback, will we still be talking about that? Will we have more patience, or do we critique him because we know that we have the draft capital to go get a quarterback if we needed to?
I think it is because they want Deshaun Watson. Let's be honest. Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson are intriguing names to bring into this building. But
Russell's not coming.
If you bring those guys in here, besides Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert, what weapons do we really have? I know we talk about Quez Watkins being that number 2, but who is making these quarterbacks job easy? They come in here. They're coming to Howie. You say, you know what? So you saying to me, I got to do all this with these guys. I got a receiver that don't even run routes. I got a receiver that can't catch the ball. I got a receiver that's a blocking receiver. The hell you think I'll come in here? Hell no.
And I talked about that on Sunday. We're gonna have. I don't think we'll have a problem attracting. We wouldn't have a problem attracting quarterbacks as much as we would have a problem attracting free agent wide receivers, because they're looking at the quarterback and they're looking at the head coach. And if we continue, and I said this on Sunday, if we continue to be a running team, what top tier wide receiver wants to come to a running offense? With the play calling being as such as it was, with the quarterback being questioned, so to speak. You know, Alshon Jeffrey came here that year not solely, but a big part of him coming here was because he saw the potential in Carson Wentz, although he threw him under the bus later. But anyway, the reason why he came here, because he saw that young boy, he saw he had an arm and everything, and he was like, yo, yeah, I'll play with this guy. I don't know if free agent wide receivers are going to be lining up for Jalen Hurts. I just don't know.
I think if I look at it, like you said earlier in the year, Allen Robinson, like you threw that name out there, like not knowing that he's going to be available. Allen Robinson is a very good receiver in the NFL, right?
I like him.
He's with a terrible team. I'll be honest with you. He's with a team that their quarterbacks, besides Nick Foles, like I wouldn't want those quarterbacks. If we was in another situation, we definitely drafting the quarterback. But the thing about these top tier receivers coming out this year that's going to be available, we're going to have the money. And I saw somebody out there cut Fletcher Cox. You don't have to cut Fletcher Cox. Per overthecap.com, next year we're going to have around $49 million available to spend on players. If you cut Fletcher Cox, you take $28 million dead cap space. I am not cutting no Fletcher Cox. If I could trade him, I will. If not, be it. I'll keep him for only $12 million. That's what I'm doing. So Allen Robinson is a very viable receiver. I know Goodwin, he got injured from the Super Bowl champions. I know he got injured. But he's a very good third receiver. He could be a very good second receiver. There's going to be some guys. I know they said Christian Kirk. I really don't like a smaller receiver to be a number 2 receiver, but I need a veteran here. I need a veteran. If we have to spend all of our money for Devontae Adams, because I don't think he's staying with Green Bay, because I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to stay another year. right? If we have to spend all our money on Devontae Adams, Dark Knight, I'll give him my salary for this year.
All right, but what is it going to mean? I mean, he's a dynamic receiver, but what is it going to mean if Jalen Hurts hasn't progressed to where he is seeing? Because we saw in Sunday's game where multiple times, not just Sunday's game, but previous to Sunday's game, we've seen it all year long where Devontae has been open and gotten open, and he's just not seen by his quarterback. So is Devontae Adams really going to be knocking down the door to come into an offense where he recognizes the quarterback may not see him, has not progressed enough to recognize defenses? Somebody said in the comments a little earlier, and I think I put it up there. I don't know if I did, but he said that he overheard, or the Tampa Bay sideline was mic'd up, and the coaches said Jalen Hurts can't read defenses. They were shouting that out. He can't read defenses. If that's true, what wide receivers wants to come here under those conditions? I mean, money will drive a lot of people to consider us. But when you're at the top of the food chain like Devontae Adams, you have your choice of where you want to go. The money's going to be there. You get to pick the situation you want to be in. And I know Howie's a hell of a salesman, but that would be a hell of a sales job to get Devontae Adams to want to come to Philadelphia.
All right, so Green Bay's not going to tag Adams.
You don't think so?
They already said, Adams, if you want to leave, it is our pleasure to have you here as a Green Bay Packer. We're going to let you explore the different options that's out there in free agency if we're not able to re-sign. They said that already. That's something they said at the beginning of the season. All right. So with the options that are out there,
psych. That's what they're gonna say now. Psych. You tagged,
Dante.
If they let Aaron Rodgers go, they can't let Devontae. They can't let both of them go.
So what happens is a franchise tag. Yes, you tag them and they get the top 5% of the top earners in their position, right? But if a team comes in and say they want this player, right, they can negotiate a first-round draft pick for that player. I have
and
no.
He's
picks.
that type of player.
I was like, take my first-round picks for the next 2 years.
yeah.
But with that being said, the key about it is we talk about Jalen Hurts, his development, right? Normally, what happens is a first-round quarterback. Really, his development happens in year 3 and 4, right? Year 3, you can actually see if he's actually developing into a viable quarterback. We got fool's gold with with Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was fool's gold. Let's be honest. His second year, Howie did some magic and got him some players, and he went on a terror against some bum teams. To be honest with you, some bum teams, and he was fool's gold to us. We thought we had a franchise quarterback with this guy, and come to find out, as we saw at the end of the season, this past season, that was fool's gold. Jalen Hurts has the ability to be better than what he was at the last game. So, with that being said, Twain Purnell puts, we can even get Smith the ball, and you think another one is going to come here to be number 2 and get 4 targets. No, a number 1 will come here and be a number 1. Smitty, I'm going to be honest with you. Smitty is a very valuable number 2. He's a very valuable number 2 to a veteran wide receiver that you could bring here. All right. It's the offensive coordinator's job to make his offense more fluid than what we have. The offense we have, we never know if he's going to run the ball 30 times a game or pass the ball 40 times a game. It should never be a guessing game. We should stick to the identity of the team. Freaking look at Deebo Samuel from San Francisco, right? I think he had over 700 receiving yards, but he had 700 rushing yards. This dude had 16 total touchdowns, 7 receiving, 8 rushing. Like,
that was a testament.
You have to take advantage of the athletes you have. If you have a running team like we have, utilize that. They had 8 in the box for a reason. punch those MFs in their mouth until they bring 9 in the box. Then take advantage of the corner that cannot cover Devontae Smith or Devontae Adams. All right.
I agree with that. That was a classic case of taking advantage of what your talent does best, putting them in the best position to be successful. That's what Mike Shanahan did with Debo Samuel. He took that. He knew he had a dynamic talent, and he found and schemed a way to get him the ball as much as possible. When you have great players or you have good players, I think that's your job. That bodes well for you being successful, is to get your best players the ball. And Sunday, we didn't see that. We didn't see that. Devontae was one-on-one most of the time, and I didn't see them try to scheme anything going his way. Again, I hang that on rookie coach, and I'm hoping that he's going to learn from that, and he's going to be better for that experience this Sunday next year. He's going to be better for that, and hopefully our quarterback is going to be a better quarterback for the experience that he had in this upcoming. Come on. We're talking about Jalen Hurts, and we're talking about Sunday, and we're talking about how bad he played. But there are some other quarterbacks that are markedly or anyway seemingly better than he
Kyler
is,
Murray.
that had some bad games on
Derek
Sunday.
Carr.
So and Jalen's only a second-year player, but we saw Kyler Murray, who everybody says is a dynamic young quarterback, have as equally a bad game as Jalen Hurts.
Mac Jones.
Mac
He's a rookie,
Jones,
but
he's
he
a
had a
rookie,
terrible game.
but yeah, he had a terrible game. We even saw Dak Prescott. Jalen Hurts' numbers was not too different from Dak Prescott, who's supposed to be a top 10 quarterback in this league.
And he has
so it
weapons.
happens.
And he
has weapons. Yeah, and he has weapons. And that's what happened to those quarterbacks. So let's not hang it all on Jalen Hurts and saying that how bad he is. There was other more respected quarterbacks that had just as bad of a game as Jalen Hurts on Sunday.
I want to talk about the future real quick, Dante. I know this quarter is about to end because it felt like it's about to end really quickly. We've got like 5
We got
seconds.
about 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes left.
So the thing about it is, yes, Jalen Hurts right now, it looks like he can't throw. A lot of people, the consensus say he can't throw. He misses wide open pass, and I agree with the consensus out there because I watch majority of the all 22. Thank you, Dante, for that too. I watched the majority of the all 22 this year, and I've seen wide open receivers, and I've seen his progression is not where it needs to be. But that does not state anything on year 3 when a game actually starts to slow down for a player. It takes literally 3 years for the game to physically slow down for a player. To actually, you can see all things that's coming at you, right? So you can go through your progressions faster than anything else. Brett Favre wasn't Brett Favre in year 1. Brett Favre wasn't Brett Favre in year 2. Brett Favre wasn't
Neither was
Brett Favre.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning wasn't Peyton Manning in year 1. Hell no. All right. They actually thought who was that guy that got drafted above him from Washington? I forget his name right now because he was a bust. Ryan Leaf. They actually thought Ryan Leaf was a better quarterback his rookie year. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Yeah, again, it goes back to the auspice of we not giving this kid time. I understand there was a lot of errors this year. There were a lot of missed open wide receivers in the grand scheme of things. And there are a lot of misreads that, you know what, if you had to go back and do it again and know what's going to be open, you would hit the open guy and take those yards and move forward. You know what? It's great experience. It's something to learn on. And I pray and hope that Jalen Hurts gets in the lab, right? Gets a quarterback coach that teaches him those valuable lessons of being patient in the pocket, looking through your different reads that's out there, and developing him as a better quarterback, not a weapon, but a better quarterback. Michael Vick was a dynamic weapon. He didn't become a better quarterback to Andy Reid said you can't be a you can't help this team if you're not going to throw the ball.
Well, actually, I think Michael Vick didn't, and he admitted this himself. He didn't even study game film until he got under Andy
I mean,
Reid.
listen, if you
And,
have his
you know,
ability, would you?
yeah, he had that ability, and he just used that like
Would
all the
you?
time. So
Would you?
I think that Jalen is a better study of the game. But let me read some comments here. Fred makes a good point. Fred says he has to learn the offense, get experience against NFL defense, trust the damn process. We're also missing or forgetting that this is his first year in this offense. I know it's his second year in the league, but this is his first year in this offense.
Yes.
It's his first year under this coaching staff. So he had to make, there was a big adjustment. There's already a big adjustment from going from the college level to the NFL level. But there's even more when after your rookie season, where you get 4 games thrown in the fire, you get 4 games to start, and then the next year you have a whole new coaching staff, a different philosophy of how you're being coached, and you have to absorb that. So let's see what year 2 under Nick Sirianni and the coaches on this staff's tutelage, what that does for a young quarterback like Jalen Hurts. Let's just see. I mean,
I want to throw out 2 comments from our pool right there. It's went way back from Hank White. He said, "Read this. I just hate how Chad Johnson keeps trying to make us see something something that isn't there. Jay
I saw
Rager
it.
is a practice squad player, nothing more." And the last comment by by Tim Mack is freaking hilarious. Screw the lab. I hope dude takes some steroids or something.
Yeah, I saw that. Screw the lad. All right, James is on board. He says Jalen Hurts will be a top 10 quarterback next year. He has a work ethic.
Wait a minute. Time out.
and
Can
a
I stop
drive
you real
to-
quick?
Yeah.
Per Pro Football Focus in QBR, he is a top 10 quarterback.
Is he? Wow, that's incredible. All right, well, I brought this up also on Sunday. Oh, well, we ended the quarter, so let's end the quarter.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, so that's the end of the third quarter here on Eagles Talk, the #1 Eagles coverage show on Facebook that's by Eagles fans for Eagles fans. Here, we like to talk about our favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles. We do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage. Tonight, my favorite adult beverage is the wine. From here on out, this is the last quarter. I'm going to sip on the wine. Pat, are you still doing it for the culture, or are you done?
I'm doing a small shot, man.
All right, he's going to do a small shot for the culture. Everybody out there who's still hanging with Pat, let me know what you're drinking. And we're still celebrating our Philadelphia Eagles. This is a year in review. Next week, we may be on, we may not. I won't be here. I'm taking a few weeks off since it's the end of the season. This is a draining job. 2 days out the week to do this job and to be prepared for you guys. So I'm going to take a few weeks off. Before, because we come on all year. We come on in the off season and stuff like that. But I probably won't be on until after the playoffs.
The draft is coming.
Somebody asked earlier about when we're going to do the draft show. That's going to be a little bit down the line there.
I've been talking to Matt, man. I've been talking to your boy Matt,
our
and
draft expert.
Yo, he's sending me some stuff. I'm sending him some stuff. Like, I didn't know about this player. I said, yeah, check him out. Yo, listen.
So we'll still be here all year round, and Pat and Michelle may even come on next week. But I know I'm gonna take a few weeks off.
I'll be off
and kind of
next week,
regroup.
too. I'm
All right.
gonna relax with you. I need.
But
you.
anyway, we're going to talk about this off season and this year in the fourth quarter. So everybody, raise your glasses to our Philadelphia Eagles and a successful season. Everybody, down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the fourth quarter.
All right, listening to the fourth quarter. Like I said, I think this was a successful season. This Philadelphia Eagles team exceeded our expectations. Like the commenter said earlier, said that we doubled our wins from last year. I mean, that has to be successful when nobody thought that we could. People, and I even asked in the preseason or before the draft last year when we hired Nick Sirianni, I asked the question when everybody was so optimistic. I mean, the Eagles fan base was so optimistic and maybe even being fanboys with their predictions with 8 and 9 wins and some even 10 wins. Where are we going to get these wins from? Because looking at the roster at that time, before a lot of the free agent signings and the draft, I was asking, how has this team gotten 5 wins better? Well, we see how they got 5 wins better. We saw our rookie coach make an adjustment in the middle of the season, go to the run game. Might have even been more than 9 wins had he decided to choose that route a little earlier in the season, but it was what it was. It was 9 wins, and it was double what we did last year. So I'm encouraged about that. And like I said last year, we're going to have to go through this process again next year, because I really believe, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, I really believe that this run offense is not only is it not what our owner wants to see, because he's on record and speaking about liking to see a high flying pass offense, but I don't believe that this is the type of offense that our head coach likes to run or is proficient in running. I think he's more of a West Coast guy. That's what the word is. And he came out the beginning of this year trying to use that philosophy until he found out that we don't have the tools to incorporate his philosophy. So I think next year, especially if they get a veteran wide receiver or some better wide receivers in here to go along with Devontae Smith and Quez Watkins, I think we're going to see a testing or a experimenting again, or an attempt to incorporate that passing offense until he finds out, if he finds out, hopefully he'll be successful, but if he finds out that that's not what this team does best, and reverts back to the run game. I just don't think that this team is going to come out next year and from the door establish itself as a smash mouth football team, especially if Howie adds some weapons to the passing attack here.
You know what? I totally agree with you. It actually is going to hinge on our defense. I think next year is really going to hinge on the defense. Those first 3 picks in the first round, we got 15, 16, and number 19. If you take that in the equation and you can double up on these Georgia, Alabama defensive players, Jordan Davis, Dean, middle linebacker, you can get a Sauce Gardner, cornerback, like, or Jacoby Brisket from Penn State as a safety. If you're able to get some good football players, not talk about their metrics, not talking about the things they did in the combine, but good football players, you know what? You can elevate this team to a very viable team next year. I mean, listen, Brandon Brooks, from the reports that's been coming out, is going to be retiring. If he retires, right? If he retires, that's $58 million that you have to spend on whatever you need to make this team better. All right? $58 million for Howie Roseman. It's like going into the Gucci store and everything is $1.
That is an excellent analogy, Pat. That is the comment of the night right there. I totally agree with that. I totally agree. Kudos to Pat for that, man. If I could make, I made the bell ring. I made the bell ring on the Kaza Azul.
Listen, Dark Knight, I got to say this. He's great at free agents and getting the proper free agents. Sometimes he misses some, but a lot of times he hits on these free agents, right? The draft is the ones that we have issues with. If he doesn't overthink these players, the best player available, if Dean, the linebacker from Georgia, is available, grab him. If any of those
do we grab him over Devin Lloyd?
Yes.
I think Devin Lloyd is a bigger upside. I mean, I don't know. I think he's the build that I like to see.
Dante, I'm gonna tell you right now. Grab the SEC linebacker who's been dominant in a conference that most of the NFL players will be drafted from. All right? He dominated Alabama. Sideline to sideline. If you can get Sauce Gardner, Ahmad Gardner from Cincinnati, people didn't throw his way because he was that dominant at corner.
You talk about, I'm still talking about the linebacker.
Yes.
Dean or Lloyd?
I'm going Dean.
You're going Dean all day.
I'm going Dean all day. Listen, Lloyd is 6'3". He can move.
All right, JR says Michael Parsons 2.0. Who are you talking about, JR? You talking about
not
Dean
not Lloyd.
or Lloyd?
Not
Who you
Lloyd.
talking about? JR,
Lloyd.
I'm waiting for JR's. JR, who you talking about? Micah Parsons 2.0. Is that Lloyd or is that Dean?
But you got a guy from Penn State too. I'm not gonna mention his name, right? Because I don't know if he declared or not. But you got some guys from Penn State that's gonna be out there too. Listen, I like Jacoby Brister, the safety from Penn State. He's the All American. He's a second team All American, and he's gonna be a very dynamic safety. He's 6'1". He's my size.
Oh, he's talking about Dean. He's talking about Dean. He says Georgia's linebacker, sideline to sideline.
Yes.
All right, so he likes Dean. I mean, he likes Dean, and he's calling him. Now, that's big. That's big to say that. If you're comparing him to Micah Parsons, because Micah Parsons already has come into the league and established himself as a difference maker on a defense. We do need a linebacker like that.
You
but
can't block that guy.
who? I mean, you got to talk about who we got picking there and
you
who this team
can't
is.
overthink it. Don't overthink it and
but
get
this team has
a
never
Pac-10. All right, a Pac-10 linebacker compared to an SEC linebacker. Let's do this right now. Let's do this right now, Dark Knight.
All right. You don't have to go any further. You just. All right. I pull back my. All right, you got it. SEC versus Pac-10. All right. No comparison there. All right, I would take the SEC player immediately because those guys in the SEC are already playing against NFL talent in college because most of the SEC, they have the most drafted players of any other league conference in college football. So these guys, most of them come to the NFL and they play. So they're playing against NFL players while they're in college. So, yeah, if I had to pick a SEC linebacker, top linebacker over a Pac-10 top linebacker, I'll probably go with SEC
There
top.
are only two wide receivers. There are only three wide receivers I will ever draft this year coming out. There is Jahan Dotson from Penn State. All right, get rid of Drake Rager and JJ Arthur-Whiteside. Jahan Dotson will be a slot receiver and be a dominant slot receiver in his league. Bell from Purdue. He's a big body receiver that catches the ball with his hands and gets open and has speed. Or you can get a receiver in the later rounds, go defense all the other rounds, pick the kid from North Dakota State. I'm forgetting his name right now. He's a 6'5" receiver. He has some speed. He has about 4.4 speed. He's going to be a pretty good third receiver in his league, third or fourth receiver in his league. So talking about receivers, those are the only receivers I would pick up in this draft if I was going that route.
All right, I would probably. I'm not going.
I
wouldn't mind if the Eagles went
I'm not going
receiver in this draft. I just probably wouldn't put a lot of draft capital into the receiver. Meaning it wouldn't be in the first 2 rounds. I wouldn't.
I go second round if Jahan Dotson is available in the second round.
As much as this team needs defensive help,
Dark Knight. Trust me, if Jahan Dotson is available in the second round, right? He's embarrassed. Ohio State corners year in, year out. Ohio State corners are been considered some of the best corners in the league that have got drafted high, right? If he's available, you draft him in the second round.
No, I don't want him. I want our defense to be better. All right, look, Fred says, before y'all go, I want to invite y'all to Houston for the Eagles game next year. It will be Hurts' homecoming. It's going to be lit. Yeah, especially if Deshaun Watson.
I might take you up on that.
Deshaun Watson is our starting quarterback. I'm only kidding. All right, look, hopefully if the COVID has really stifled a lot of our getting out and being in live appearances. We've never done. This is the first year we've done where we've not been out. We were even out the first game of last year.
Yes, we were.
And then it got shut down. But this is the first season where we've been in studio or in home. Actually, we haven't even been to the studio. We've been home all season. So, Fred, hopefully if things clear up, if we can see a post-COVID type of environment out there, we can travel, and we would love to come down to Houston. Houston is litty, even if Jalen doesn't come down there.
I got to swing my doors when I come down there, man. I got to get up my candy pink then when I'm down there.
All right, so look, there was one mock draft that I wouldn't mind, and you guys tell me, but my mindset was just like Dallas went 6 out of 7 draft picks this year with defense. I recall another team,
and they still suck.
No, their defense was markedly better this year. It
Come on,
was. I mean,
Trayvon Austin. He got 11 interceptions, but he gave up over 1,100 receiving yards.
he got 11 interceptions. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about their philosophy. Their defense was
I-
way more aggressive
yeah, I-
than
I-
it was the year before. Dan Quinn made a market improvement over that defense, just him alone. But I'm just talking about the investment that he made
Yeah.
in the defensive side. They saw that the defense was a weak point of theirs the year before, and they went out and they invested not only in the players, but they brought in a coach that can implement his system, and they were a lot more aggressive. There was another team, I can't remember off the top of my head, that picked a majority of defensive players. These are teams that recognize the weakness and just threw their draft capital at that weakness. And on this, we have more spots to fill, of course. But on this side, on the defensive side of the ball, there's no denying that we can use a major upgrade in the form of younger talent on the defense side of the ball. And now we have the draft capital to do so. I think we should really consider upgrading on the defensive side with some young, talented defensive players.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, our first 3 draft picks definitely should be defensive players. I'm gonna be honest with you. It should be a linebacker, an edge rusher, and a corner, or a safety, depending on who's available at that particular position. I really think we need to get the safety from Penn State. He does
You
complement.
agree with Jason? Jason's saying the same thing.
Oh, I didn't even look at that. It do complement what we really need, because we do need a safety. If we keep Nelson, then we can go ahead and draft the safety. But we definitely need a linebacker. We need a very lively linebacker, and Dean will be the best linebacker for this team. All right. Go ahead.
All right, here's the mock draft that I saw that was intriguing, and I agree too. I would like to see three defensive players drafted in the first round, and I'm on board with you. An edge rusher, a linebacker, and a safety is my preference, but I'll take a cornerback. But I saw one that was a little different. They had us taking 2 defensive players and an offensive player. And I said, if this happens, I wouldn't be mad. So the players that the mock had us taken was London Baum, the center from Iowa, with the 15th pick. Number 16 was either Devin Lloyd or Dean. It was either one of those. Either one of those linebackers was the 16th pick. I think it was Dean. Dean was the 16th pick, and then with the 19th pick, they had us taking Jaquan Brister from Penn State. And I was like, you know what? If our draft winded up like that, I wouldn't be mad at that at all. I wouldn't be mad with a replacement or heir apparent to Jason Kelsey with London Baum, and because he's NFL ready. He's ready. He's NFL ready. I wouldn't be mad with a playmaker linebacker like Dean, and definitely wouldn't be mad with a hard-hitting safety like Brisker from Penn State. I would be satisfied if it happened to come out that way.
You know what? I look at it. You said Letterbond from Iowa. Iowa always put out good offensive linemen or tight ends. Then you go to Brister, who's a safety from Penn State. Penn State has been putting out great players lately. Let's be honest, they have been putting out great players lately compared to Ohio State. Yes, it's a shot on you, Shell. I don't care. And Dean, I'll tell you right now, Dean definitely will be a difference maker. Forget his size. He's 6 foot. Forget his size, right? Forget that. Sam Mills was 5'11", but he was a terror. Zach Thomas was 5'10", but he racked up over 200 tackles and made plays. We gotta stop putting the height thing in that category and start looking at the heart of the player. Like this guy Dean is sideline type player that you don't have to take off the field.
Yeah,
TJ Edwards, you got to take off the field on 3rd down.
Yeah, you're right.
Just
JR
imagine
says after that NC game, I doubt if Dean falls to 15.
Yeah, he's
and
gonna
that's
fall.
true.
He's going
You
to fall.
think he's going to fall?
Yeah, he's going to fall.
That's
Because
only if, and I don't see this happening, but only if there's a run on quarterbacks, which I don't see happening. But by the time as the draft gets closer and closer, I know everybody's looking at this draft class as quarterbacks and saying there's really no franchise quarterbacks out there. But people talk themselves into quarterbacks when they're quarterback needy and the draft comes around, especially after the combine. If anybody shows any type of arm strength out there, then they're going to jump up the draft board. I see that happening. So I don't know, but you're right. I agree with the comment you made earlier about Howie, and I trust him in the free agency, especially with a lot of money. With a lot of money and free agency, Howie's going to do a hell of a job. We've seen Howie in years past win the off-season championship when it comes to signing free agents. We've seen that. And we don't doubt that he has a good picking finger with signing free agents. Even if they don't pan out, they are usually the top free agents on the market. Now, whether they come and perform is a different story, like Nnamdi. He was the top cornerback that year. I mean, everybody wanted him, and we wanted him. We just didn't know that he was going to be what he turned out to be. So, Howie has a good eye, and he's not afraid to go get those top-tier free agents. So I trust him with a lot of money and at least trying to fill those holes with some of the top-tier free agents out there. Even with the mid-tier guys, I think he's very strategic in getting those guys too. Torrey Smith was not a top-tier wide receiver out there, but Howie got him for a good bargain, and he's done that in years past. So I have no problem with Howie in the free agent market. My problem with Howie has always been the draft. And as I say that, he didn't have a bad draft this year. I can name 4 players that I can see that was not only contributors this year, but are going to be nice young players. Milton Williams, one of them.
yes.
Devontae, of course. Who else? Gainwell.
London.
And London.
London.
And London. So 4 of those guys were good picks, and I see them having a bright future.
Listen,
So
you want 4 picks out of your draft to be immediate difference makers, and we had 4 guys. Like you said, Devontae, we had London Dickerson, we had Milton Williams. We had difference makers from this draft that was able to be either rotational guys or starters on the team. That's all you ask for when you draft these guys. Sometimes they pan out and be superstars, right? Sometimes they just pan out and be superstars. With 3 first-round draft picks and a boatload of money, because I believe Brandon Brooks has played his last game in Philadelphia. He may retire, and I hope I wish him the best. And I really think Jason Kelce will be back for one more year. Nick Sirianni sent him 2 kegs of beer.
yeah, I saw that. I put that comment up there. Yo,
So,
we want him to be in shape, Nick. I'm only kidding.
it's
I
off
know it's
season
the
right
beginning.
now.
I know.
Let's get him drunk. And move
But
on.
I'm all right with that. I'm all right. Hey, look, this is the end of the show, man. We thank you guys for tuning in this whole season. And it's not over. I'm just taking a couple weeks off just to recuperate from a long season, man. It's been a pleasure talking to my Eagle faithful fans, Bird Gang members, Bird Gang for life, man. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys. And I'll be back in a few weeks. I just need to take a couple weeks off to recuperate, spend some time with the fam. Because, I did this playoff game. I was like, yo, we haven't watched a lot of games. And they're like, cuz, Dad, you go and watch it with your friends. I'm like, okay, all right. Well, that's my fault. All right, so now
Shout out! Hold on, I can do a big shout out to Ryan Kerrigan for a sack and a half. Finally showing up on the stat sheet.
No, he gets no shots. No, all right. Anyway, all right. I hate to end on that. But, yo, we're going to be out. We'll be back in a few weeks, probably
can I do
after
one
the
better?
Super Bowl.
Can I do one better? Can I
What?
do one better than that? Shout out to Dallas Goddard. Shout out to Boston Scott. 1 rush and a touchdown.
Shout out to Devontae for breaking the rookie receiving yardage
man.
record and stuff like that. It wasn't a total letdown. I mean, the last game was, but this season wasn't a total letdown. It was a success in my eyes, and we hope to build on that next year. 9 wins this year. Let's take it to the moon next year.
Yes,
so
sir.
we'll be back after the Super Bowl. You guys enjoy the playoffs as much as you can.
Before we close out. if any nobles are out there, I will have a ball honoring myself because I'm a illustrious potentate of Pyramid Temple #1, who's the illustrious potentate of Pyramid Temple, and the Imperial potentate John T. Chapman is a past potentate of Pyramid Temple #1 of our Water Buffaloes, like Dante called it. So February 25th to the 27th, get with me. If you want to come, get with me. We're gonna have some
All
fun.
right, y'all
drink
got
some-
him. You know where
drink-
Pat is. That's his tag on Instagram, and his name is Pat Sandler. You know what his name
Very
is on
easy.
Facebook.
You see me.
Very
You see my
easy.
face.
Let's go in there and friend him if you want to be involved in that. But we'll be back after the Super Bowl. You guys enjoy the playoffs as much as you can. I'm your man, Dante the Dark Knight, for Pat and Nichelle in her absence. We will see you guys soon. We're out. Peace.
We go live in 5, 4, 3, 2. Smash him up, crack that fool. Quarterback crack, yo, sack that fool. Hit him, hit him, hit him, hit him, hit him.